Welcome to episode 149 of Rebirth Revolution. My name is Melissa Olson. We've been going over some ideas that relate to parenting, but there really isn't a delineation between what you do in your adult life and what you pass along to your children. You can't tell children to do one thing and then think that they won't notice and register that you are doing something else entirely. There is no way to fake most of this stuff, no matter how much we adults might like to. Our children will absorb our ways, some of it through genetics, and the rest of it through daily exposure to how we live. Children come into this world being egocentric. It is the natural order of things. They have to care only for themselves because that is their only chance at surviving. And when they are babies, we, as parents, think only of them. In the early days, it is a job that requires singular focus to simply keep them alive. The whole world may be burning all around you, but for the baby, it is me, and for the parent, it is you. This hyper-focus throws major fuel on the parent-child bond. Not a bad system, though it feels like way too much at times. It is all-consuming, which is a healthy shift for most people. We know that when that original obsession does not have a chance to blossom, there are profound consequences for the baby. As a culture, we need to ensure that everyone has the resources they will need to make space for that connection to take place. As a culture, we haven't done a great job of that, and it shows. We don't honor that process as we should. As the months and years go by, the parent and the child need to pull out of that narrow focus and widen their lenses. The baby needs to understand that they are not the center of the universe, and the parent needs to understand that the universe contains much more than that baby. This is not a negative thing. This is about helping a child find their place in the greater world. It is an act of opening up their options so that they may learn from everyone around them. It is about allowing them to experience the wisdom and love of a greater number of people. It is about teaching them the flow of life and what can be expected in this school. As their guides, we need to not only explain how the school works, we need to demonstrate daily how to navigate the process. We need to share the inside secrets about what they may expect and what they need to look out for. To do that, we need to increase our understanding throughout the course of our lives. We cannot teach what we don't know. So what can we all understand? We can all understand that we are on individual journeys that are intertwined and interdependent. We can only change and grow ourselves, but our growth and understanding will affect everyone who is in any way connected to our story. We are all in every moment both teachers and students. Our choices offer clues to others so that they can choose to either emulate us or choose something entirely different based on the outcomes they see. We are all part of this big dance that extends outside of our homes, into our communities, and into the world at large. We will often want things to happen that are not always in the best interest of where our story is going. We will want things that are rightfully part of someone else's story. That means we all need to develop faith and some sort of grace about the times when our wishes aren't granted. Not everything is for us, but what is for us will always be within our reach. When you look at the high levels of dysfunction in the world around us, you see many people who never learned this lesson. They think the entire world and every experience in it is supposed to be for and about them. If it is for or about someone else, they stomp their feet and carry on about, oh, how unfair it all is. They never grew out of the me phase. No one ever helped them understand that this dance we are in is for all the dancers. Everyone must get some things, but not all things. They never learned that what other people need matters as much as what they need. Selfishness and self-centeredness need to end when children can begin to see that there are other people in the world besides themselves. And you don't have to be mean about it. You certainly don't need to shame them about how egocentric they are. They were designed to be that way in the beginning. The adults need to coax them out of that limited mindset by helping them understand the needs of others. The adults need to take complete focus off the child and allow the child to observe those around them. This is where they will find their wisdom. Reading children books about all different types of people will expand their awareness. Correcting them when they are unkind by pointing out what the other person's perspective might be also expands their awareness. There is a newish style of parenting that equates being overly focused on your child as a measure of how much you love them. But too much focus and too much attention is not a kindness. It is a form of pressure. It is a way of conveying massive expectations. It is a way of stripping a child of the time and space they need to find themselves, both their thoughts and their strengths. Smothering a child is a way of letting them know that you don't think they can be an independent person. It is a vote of no confidence. It is a lack of respect. It also keeps them from understanding that they are not the center of the universe. Imagine how much pressure it must be if your every thought, word, and deed is magnified by your status of being the center of the universe. Honestly, the only respite we get in this world is in understanding how small and inconsequential we are in the grand scheme of things. Why put all that pressure and such huge expectations on a small child? I've read so many accounts of people's childhoods where they have stressful memories of being forced to be front and center to entertain adults, and as many accounts of people whose best memories of childhood are of being a fly on the wall, observing what the adults said and did when they didn't know they were being watched. Give children the space to breathe and the opportunity to observe and then to engage as they wish. I mean, we have figured this out about dogs. When you enter a dog's home, it is suggested that you ignore the dog and let it decide if and when to interact with you, as opposed to rushing in, screeching at them in a high-pitched voice while reaching out to grab them. It's entirely too stressful for the dog. Why haven't we given children the same degree of respect that we give dogs? As far as feeling like they have to be the center of the universe, again, look at the world around us. How many people are truly convinced that they are the center of the universe? How many people think that only what they think and know matters? How many people think that their crackpot theories are of greater value than the knowledge of serious people who study issues. How many people think that they are the only person who they need to be concerned about? This lack of perspective and humility is at the root of so much evil in this world. Your goal is to help your child grow to higher levels of spiritual awareness. This cannot be done without them developing empathy, which is caring about what happens to others, and humility, which is a fundamental understanding that you are not the center of the universe. It is our job as the grown-ups to let children's worlds expand beyond their original thinking into a place where they are positive participants in the dance. We also need to take note of and celebrate all the wisdom that they are accumulating along the way. We need to give them the respect they are due at every age, and we need to let them build up their life muscles by dealing with each new challenge that comes their way. They will need these muscles as the challenges they face will surely increase in difficulty. The best parenting teachers are often your own children. One of the moments of true growth for me as a parent was one time that I gave unsolicited input to one of my teenage sons. In the moment, I was just ticking through the list of concerns in my mind and giving voice to them. But my son asked me, "Do you really think that I don't know that? Do you really think I hadn't considered that?" To be honest, I hadn't even thought of what he may have known or had been thinking. This was my way of managing my own anxiety about having teenagers in the world. It was that parental paranoia that leads you to think that you need to unload every single thing that you know, just in case you forgot to tell them anything they might need. But I understood by the look on his face and the tone of his voice that I had insulted him. I had spoken in a manner that seemed like I thought he was inept and incapable of managing his own life. I didn't actually feel that way. I was just managing my own anxiety, which should never have been his issue. It was mine. I try to use that experience whenever I feel compelled to give unsolicited advice. Am I doing this for me, or am I doing it for him? As a parent, I do not have the right to say every crazy thought that is in my head. Each time I want to speak, I try to ask myself first what my true motivation might be. It results in me telling myself to shut up pretty regularly, which is appropriate. I don't get to dishonor other people in the interest of emptying my head of my motherly anxiety. It is my job to be respectful. It is my job to continue to make the space for my adult children to face their own challenges and to give them the respect they have earned through all the great thinking and choices they have demonstrated up to this point. I don't always know better. I'm just older. The benefit I receive from fostering independent thinking and independent problem solving is that I'm not worried about my children being out in the world. I know that they have great critical thinking skills. I trust that they can handle anything that comes their way. And I know that if they need me, they will let me know. In the meantime, I can observe from the bleachers and enjoy watching their lives unfold. Thanks for returning for another week of Rebirth Revolution. It's wild and wonderful how our growth here in this school is enhanced by both those who came before us and those who came after us. It's a pretty slick system. Rebirth Revolution can be found on all the podcast apps, the music apps, and full episodes play on our YouTube and Facebook pages. You can find all episodes on rebirthrevolution.com. Please download, rate, and review wherever you can. Until next week, celebrate the growth of all young people. Celebrate your wisdom in giving them that space. Stick with your COVID precautions and keep it moving. Remember, you are loved exactly as much as every other person on the planet, not 1 ounce more or 1 ounce less. Stay strong and safe and keep dancing.